Hello everyone, I am Ananya. Welcome to my study channel Learnify, where learning becomes simplified. So today we are going to study a very important chapter of ancient history, the Mauryan Empire. So from this chapter many important questions are asked from various rulers, especially Ashoka and Chandragupta Maurya. These rulers are very significant and you have to remember even the minutest details about them. So in this video I have tried to cover all the important points that are required for various important exams and that have been asked also in the previous years. So please do see this video very carefully because this is the most important chapter. If you find the content useful, then please like and share this video with your friends, as this is a very important chapter, so everyone must know the important content. And also subscribe to my channel for viewing the content for other chapters also. I will be teaching you almost all the content of the journal awareness in this series, so please support me. Thank you. I have tried to explain each and every concept of this significant chapter in the easiest possible way. However, if you still find any doubts or some facts are not clear to you, then feel free to ask me in the comment box. Okay, so let's get started. So let's start the Mauryan Empire. So there was a vacuum created by Alexander's destruction. तो सबसे पहले ना हम थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड डिस्कस करते हैं कि क्या हो रहा था उस टाइम पे. ओके, इन 322 BCE क्या हो रहा था ऐसा कि जिसने हेल्प की चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य को मौर्यन एम्पायर एस्टैब्लिश करने में. ठीक है, तो क्या हो रहा था, अलेक्जेंडर ने उस टाइम पे इन्वेजन की थी. तो क्या हुआ था, मतलब although the Alexander was not successful to seize the area of Nanda dynasty, but still जब वॉर होता है तो इवन जो विनिंग वाली साइड होती है उनको भी लॉस ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एंड लॉस ऑफ लाइव्स एंड सम लॉस ऑफ मनी, they also suffer these kind of losses, so it leads to eventually weakening their power. So क्या हुआ था, जो नंदा डायनेस्टी के रूलर थे धनानंद, उनकी पावर बहुत वीक हो चुकी थी, वो थोड़े वीक पड़ चुके थे. भले ही वो हारे नहीं थे पर वो बहुत वीक पड़ चुके थे, तो उससे एक तरह का वैक्यूम क्रिएट हो गया था. ओके, सो दिस वीकनिंग पावर gave opportunity to Chandragupta Maurya to establish the Mauryan Empire. Chandragupta Maurya founded the Mauryan Empire in 322 BCE after overthrowing Dhananand of Nanda dynasty. So this is very important. Who was the last ruler of Nanda dynasty whom Chandragupta Maurya overthrew? It was Dhananand. Fine. Next, now let's discuss some of the sources that give us important information about the Mauryan Empire, that what kind of people were there, how they used to administer, about the administration, the political structure, the society, and other things of Mauryan Empire. So what are the sources? Number one, we are going to discuss the literary sources. लिटरेरी सोर्सेज मतलब कि बुक्स या फिर कोई रिटर्न टेक्स्ट होगा या कोई मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट अगर उनको मिली या कोई मतलब कुछ भी उनको रिटर्न मिला है. ओके, बुक्स और सम नॉवेल्स और समथिंग. नंबर वन इज मेगास्थनीज इंडिका. सो मेगास्थनीज वॉज अ एम्बेसडर, ग्रीक एम्बेसडर. सो ही रोट अ बुक इंडिका. कौटिल्याज अर्थशास्त्र. कौटिल्या वॉज द गाइड एंड मेंटोर ऑफ चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य. विशाखादत्ताज मुद्र राक्षस. विशाखादत्ता's Mudra Rakshas. Dharmashastra texts, Puranas, and some Buddhist texts. Okay, you need not remember the name of these Buddhist texts. These are not important. The important ones are Megasthenes Indica, Kautilya's Arthashastra, and Vishakhadatta's Mudra Rakshasa. So some archaeological findings were also there, like punch mark coins, northern black polished ware. Okay, wooden palace of Chandragupta Maurya in Patliputra. This is very important finding, archaeological finding, that gives us the very good information about what kind of things happened during the Mauryan Empire. So it was wooden palace of Chandragupta Maurya in Patliputra. And another important archaeological sources are Ashokan inscriptions and rock edicts. So now let's see this, that Brihadratha The final emperor was assassinated in 185 BCE by his Brahmin commander-in-chief Pushyamitra, who established the Shunga dynasty, which reigned in central India for roughly a century. अब मतलब इन लाइंस में इन्होंने ना एक तरह से इन्होंने एंड का बताया है, थोड़ा सा हमें आइडिया देने के लिए कि क्या हुआ था, ये एंड कैसी हुई. इन्होंने बताया कि जो बृहद्रथ था, जो लास्ट एम्परर था मौर्यन एम्पायर का. ओके, सो बृहद्रथ वॉज द लास्ट एम्परर ऑफ मौर्यन एम्पायर. Now we are going to understand that basically that this Mauryan Empire was so strong, it was so powerful, so capable rulers were there. So how it came to an end? So the commander in chief of Brihadrath, he assassinated him in 185 BCE, and then the name of commander in chief was Pushyamitra Shunga, and then he established the Shunga dynasty. Okay, so now one by one we are going to discuss about the rulers and their some kind of achievements of the Mauryan Empire. Number 1 is Chandragupta Maurya. He is the founder of Mauryan Empire. At the age of 25, Chandragupta Maurya, he ascended the throne to the Nanda throne. Means he ascended the throne of Nanda dynasty and founded the Mauryan Empire. Historical texts have it that Brahman Kautilya was his mentor and guide. So this is a story that Dhananand basically insulted Kautilya. So in order to take revenge from Dhananand, he just shook hands with Chandragupta Maurya and helped him to overthrow Dhananand. In this way, Chandragupta Maurya got the throne of Nanda throne. He got the throne. He became the king. He got the power, and Kautilya, he got his revenge. Then we are going to understand the political achievements. Okay, political achievements of Chandragupta Maurya. Victory over Nanda is number 1 because obviously this is the main thing that helped him gain the throne and the power. With help of Chanakya, he defeated Dhananand and founded the Mauryan dynasty. Next comes victory over Greeks. So basically he was victorious over the Greeks, and the Greeks and Chandragupta Maurya, they signed some kind of treaty, and then they had friendly relations. So who was the Greek ruler at that time? It was Seleucus. The Seleucus and the Seleucids means the people under the Seleucus, and the Mauryans maintained friendly relations. Now comes victory over southern India. Chandragupta Maurya's triumph over southern India, triumph means victory, is referred in Ashokan inscriptions, Jain writings, and Sangam literature. So in these three sources, the Chandragupta Maurya's victory over South India is also some information is given in Ashokan inscriptions, Jain writings, and Sangam literature. Chandragupta embraced Jainism towards the end of his life and stepped down from the throne in the favor of his son. So when at the end of his life, when Chandragupta grew old, what he did, he embraced Jainism. मतलब कि पहले तो वो एक like before he was a Brahmin, so now he embraced Jainism towards the end of his life. उसने Jainism को अपनाना शुरू कर दिया, and he gave up the throne in favor of his सन चंद्रगुप्त. मतलब कि उसने थ्रोन अपने जो बिंदुसारा था उसका सन, उसको उसने सौंप दी थ्रोन, और खुद उसने जैनिज्म को अपना लिया. Accompanied by Bhadrabahu, a Jain saint, and several other monks, he is said to have gone to Shravanbelagola in Karnataka. मतलब कि बिंदुसारा को अपने बेटे को थ्रोन सौंपने के बाद, उसको किंग बनाने के बाद, वो भद्रबहू एक जैन सेंट और कुछ मॉन्क्स के साथ वो श्रवणबेलागोला में चल गया फॉर सम काइंड ऑफ प्रेयर्स एंड ऑल. ओके, सो बेसिकली ही फॉलोड जैनिज्म एट द एंड ऑफ हिज लाइफ. नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू रीड अबाउट बिंदुसारा. ओके, नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू रीड अबाउट बिंदुसारा. ओके, so Bindusara is known to the Greeks as Amitrocrates. Bindusara is also known as Madrasar and Simhasena. So Greeks used to call Bindusara as Amitrocrates, and he is also known as Madrasar and Simhasena. Tibetan Buddhist monk Tarnath describes Bindusara as the conqueror of the land between two seas, that is peninsular India. मतलब कि उन्होंने बताया कि जो बिंदुसारा था, पहले चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य ने क्या इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ की, उसने फाइंड किया एम्पायर को, ठीक है, उसने एस्टैब्लिश किया मौर्यन डायनेस्टी को. उसके बाद जो बिंदुसारा था उसने एम्पायर को बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सटेंड करने में हेल्प की. दैट इज़ वाई दिस टिबेटन मॉन्क तारानाथ ही डिस्क्राइब हिम एज द conqueror of the land between two seas. Okay, so means Bindusara captured the peninsular India also, southern India also. So he basically extended his empire to southern India. Now comes Ashoka. So only these things you have to learn about Bindusara, because he is not, because not many questions are asked from him in the exams. Only these are important points about the names, and this he was known as conqueror of the land. Okay? And third thing you obviously need to remember is that he was the son of Chandragupta Maurya and succeeded him. Now comes Ashoka. So Ashoka was the son of Bindusara. After becoming a monarch, Ashoka fought only one combat, the combat of Kalinga. The 13th major rock edict mentions his war. So when Ashoka became a king, he fought only one war. He fought only one combat, the combat of Kalinga. And about the war of Kalinga, it is mentioned in 13th major rock edict. So this is very important. You need to learn this, that in which rock edict the information is given about the war of Kalinga. So about Kalinga war, the information is given in 13th major rock ediction. This is very 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 important question, Kalinga war. Okay, so this war, this was very deadly war. It was very furious, very terrible war. So the bloodshed in this war had a deep impact on Ashoka, which ultimately changed his personality from a warrior to a saint. Okay, so like Ashoka before, who used to support violence and do a lot of wars in order to expand his empire, after seeing such suffering and such condition of the people after the war and the bloodshed, he was deeply disturbed from inside, and this changed him from a warrior to a saint, as a result of which he gave up the policy of Digvijay. Digvijay means to kill someone and then won. Okay, and adopted the policy, or Digvijay can also means to participate in war and other violence activities, and adopted the policy of Dham Vijay. Okay, so he adopted the policy of Dhamma, means non-violence. Ashoka's Dhamma. Initially, Ashoka practiced Brahmin faith. Like before the Kalinga war, he was a Brahmin, but during the Kalinga conflict, he turned to Buddhism. So he adopted Buddhism. Now a very important point is to be noticed, that Chandragupta Maurya, during his end phase, he adopted Jainism. Okay, so this you should, any kind of confusion should not be there, that Chandragupta Maurya during the end of his life, he adopted Jainism, and Ashoka after the Kalinga war, he adopted Buddhism. Okay, so the definition of Dhamma is produced by Ashoka in his 2nd and 7th pillar edict. So this is also very important point, that the definition of Dhamma as given by Ashoka is given in 2nd and 7th pillar edict, and in 13th rock edict the the information is given about the war of Kalinga. Okay, now comes Ashoka was the first ruler in the world history who carried out this policy of Dhamma, imperialist victory over violence. Okay, so he was the first ruler who carried out the policy of Dhamma. New categories of ministers called Dhamma Matra were appointed. He also appointed some ministers known as Dhamma Matra. Now comes Mauryan administration. So we need to know some facts about Mauryan administration also, that what exactly was there. The core was the king, who was aided by Mantri Parishad members, Yuvraj, Purohit, Senapati and others. Who is Yuvraj? Yuvraj is the prince, Purohit is the priest, Senapati is the commander in chief, and others, some other ministers were also there. So moreover, the Mauryan administration during the time of Ashoka, it is more or less like our today's central government only. Like in the center, there is a central government, and then some ministers are there to support them. So in the center, the king was there, who was aided by Mantri Parishad. Tirthas were the highest ranking officers. So the highest ranking officers were the Tirthas. Okay. Megasthenes mentioned in his account 6 committees of 5 members each for administering the municipality. So Megasthenes has wrote in his you know book Indica that there were 6 committees for local administration. There were 6 committees, and those 6 committees, each committee had 5 members. Okay, so this is very important point, that Sudarshan Lake was constructed during the reign of Chandragupta Maurya in Girnar Hill in Gujarat. So this is a very important PYQ. It has been asked in many exams that which lake was constructed by Chandragupta Maurya. Sudarshan Lake. Okay. Now, two important ports of that time were Tamralipti in the east, like we can say that present day West Bengal area. There was a port Tamralipti in the east side, and Bharuch, or we can say Broch, in the west, in the Gujarat region, where we have Gujarat nowadays in the west. There was a port Bharuch, or we can call it Broch, and Tamralipti in the east. These two important ports are there. So next is we are going to understand the 7 elements of states or Kautilya's Saptanga theory. As we know that Kautilya's book Arthashastra discusses about the administration of Mauryan Empire. So there was a theory written in that book, Kautilya's Saptanga theory, or 7 elements that are necessary for the administration of a state. They are Raja, Mitra means friend, Durg, fort should be there, Amatya are the secretaries, then Janpad is the territory where the king is ruling, and then Kosha is the treasury, then Sena, army. So the 7 essential members for a good administration are Raja, Mitra, Durg, Amatya, Janpad, Kosha and Sena. So you should basically know the meanings of these words and remember these words. Now the causes of decline of we are going to discuss about the causes of the decline of Mauryan Empire. Basically, why this Mauryan Empire declined? Like we say that there was so good administration, everything was going very well, then why this Mauryan Empire declined? I have discussed one point before also, that Brihadrat, who was the last ruler, he was assassinated by his commander-in-chief Pushyamitra Shunga, and then the Pushyamitra Shunga established the Shunga dynasty. Okay, so this was you can say one reason, that the last person or the last ruler was killed by his commander-in-chief. So because of this, there was the Mauryan dynasty ended. This is the obvious reason, but some other reasons were also there for the decline. They were excessive taxes were levied and foreign invasions were there. Construction of Great Wall of China, second point. Third is incurred huge expenditure, that Ashoka incurred huge expenditure for promotion of his Dhamma mission. So for the promotion of his Dhamma mission, he appointed many people, many spies, many ministers, Dhamma matras. So मतलब ऐसे इसने बहुत ज़्यादा फालतू खर्चे किए थे. Like he appointed many people, so obviously he has to give them salaries also, and he also patronized many countries and people for the spread of Buddhism. So because of this, there was a financial crisis. The economy was not good. Non-violent attitude killed the fighting spirit of the army. So now, because Ashoka told that we are not going to, because Dhamma policy was about non-violence only. So because when army is not fighting, then gradually it will kill the fighting spirit in the soldiers, because they are not fighting. So it killed the fighting spirit of the army. Brahmins were annoyed, and the most important reason was that Brahmins, annoyed by Ashoka for banning rituals, supported Pushyamitra Shunga, who was a Brahmin. Now basically, when Ashoka converted from a Brahmin to a Buddhist person, what he did, he banned the rituals, the unnecessary rituals, because due to that, we can say, because in Buddhism this is only given that no unnecessary rituals should be there, and no other thing should be there. So basically he banned the unnecessary rituals and practices and sacrifices. So some Brahmins were in not support of that. They were saying that why are you just banning our rituals, it is our religion, our practices. So they did not support Ashoka and his Dharma policy, but they supported Pushyamitra Shunga, who was a Brahmin. So about post Mauryan period we will discuss in the next lecture. I hope you found this video very useful for covering a very important chapter of ancient history, Mauryan Empire, from which every year many important questions are asked. So I hope you found the video very useful. Then please like and share my video with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel for viewing more of such content. Thank you so much.